is Celine and I'm going to discuss one type of fallacy, which is the hasty generalization. So first, what is a fallacy? In a general sense, it is considered as a mistake in reasoning and they are common arguments that are defective. There are main categories of fallacy in argument. One is irrelevant premises and the other one is unacceptable premises. And under the unacceptable premises, we have hasty generalization. A fallacy where the speaker concludes something based on the knowledge he or she knows about a small number of the population and apply it to the general population. It is often compared to the fallacy of accident, where a speaker concludes something based on a general rule and then apply it to a certain sample of the population. Here is an example to show the difference between the two. In hasty generalization, Ella loves Tim Hortons and Ella is a Canadian, so all Canadians love Tim Hortons. While in fallacy of accident, Ella is a Canadian, Canadians love Tim Hortons, therefore Ella loved Tim Hortons. As you can see in the hasty generalization sample, the conclusion from the small part of the population was immediately applied to the whole population. While in fallacy of accident, the conclusion assumed through the general population was applied to a small part of the said population. Figuring out the fallacy is a difficult task, so here is a standard or logical form of how hasty generalization is constructed. According to Logically Fallacious website, sample S is taken from population P, where sample S is a very small part of population P, and conclusion C is drawn from sample S and applied to population P. Here is an example for further understanding. My grandmother doesn't have any social media account. My grandmother is an old person, therefore old people don't have any social media account. The sample S in the given example is the phrase my grandmother and the population P are old people. The conclusion drawn from the sample S is the grandmother doesn't have any social media accounts, and as we can see, it has been applied to the population P saying that old people don't have any social media accounts. Another sample is an illustration shown in the picture. Food that the squirrel saw before was the sample S, population P was all food, and based on the food that the squirrel saw before, he concluded that all food are definitely circle in shape. However, this other squirrel have seen the opposite and will definitely have a different opinion or conclusion if he will only base on his personal experience. Stereotypes are often results of hasty generalization, as it is an assumption or conclusion made based on sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or race. Like for example, assuming that female drivers are bad drivers just because your female family drivers are not good at driving. Or concluding that all Asian Americans are good in math because some of Asian Americans in your school are. Although stereotyping aren't always bad, it would still have a bad effect if we generalize certain group of people based only on a small sample, especially if it's just with our own personal experience. Often, hasty generalization are results of using personal experience as a reason to believe that something is or is not certain. That's why in order to avoid making this fallacy in an argument, we need to make sure that we have enough number of sample that will